Okay, today we're going up Elgrove Canyon. This place, or at least the start of the trail, is on private property, but there's an easement on the road, so you can get to it. Now, we're gonna end up at the top of that peak right there, and we're just gonna follow this road up right here till we get to the start of the trail, and we'll just head up and see what it takes to get up there. Okay, I believe this is where the start of the public lands are. Yeah, this is the start of public lands right here. So that sign did say just stay on the trails that are marked on the maps anyways, so I'm gonna do that. But we are no longer on private property. Maybe I should have just driven my truck up here. I ended up parking down one of the main roads off the side of the road. We spent about the first 5 minutes or so getting to the trail, but that's okay. Even that's not a bad ride. Now, I haven't been up this trail in a couple of years, so I don't know if there's trees falling across it. I don't know if it's been maintained at all. I know it's National Forest, and I know it's marked on the major map, so maybe National Forest preserves it. It does look like there's a decent trail up to it, so we will see. I know all the trails in this area, but at least on this mountain, they're pretty rocky. Looks like not super maintained. I'm having to go around brush and stuff, but not too bad. Last time I came up here, I had a real problem getting up this hill, just because a lot of rocks and stuff. But I was on an ice bike, an internal combustion engine bike. This one's battery, so I no longer stall out. I don't have any problems on stuff like that. You just go a little bit slower, take it easy, kind of walk your bike up, stick your feet down on both sides, and you're not going to have any problems at all like that. The same problems you would have on an ice bike like that one. That would have been a problem. Going super slow. See, I can just let go. I don't have any problems going around the hard stuff, or I guess I should say the stuff that would normally be hard on an ice bike. No longer hard on this bike. It looks like it's a pretty well maintained trail. I don't know if that's if it's people maintaining it, or if it's deer or whatever, cows maybe, I'm not sure. But it looks like a decent trail. Maybe it's people. It probably is, from how I'm seeing. So, but while we're talking about this bike, almost got a big rock there. While we're talking about this bike has about a 6-hour charge time. Or not a charge time, sorry. It's about a 6-hour run time after a charge. The charge time takes about 3 hours, and it just runs off 110 power. So it charges fairly fast compared to how long it takes to drain the battery. In my opinion, this bike, or this type of bike, is one of the best trail bikes you can get, just for the reason that I stated back there, that you're never gonna stall out. You're not gonna come up on a hard spot and have to get it in one run. If you guys know what a recluse clutch is, a recluse clutch is basically the ultimate for a gas bike. But those are even those are quite finicky for what we're doing here. This type of bike takes the need for those completely away, and it just makes trails like these super simple. I can go as slow as I want on this trail. You can see I'm going pretty slow right here, but I can go as slow as I want. I can put my feet down on both sides. I can crawl, just crawl. See that? I'm barely moving. I'm never gonna stall out. Not stalling out, not hurting my clutch, not anything. And I see a lot of other channels that are running ice bikes, 2 strokes or 4 strokes or whatever. And they're going over stuff like this. They're working the heck out of their clutch, and they're having to replace that frequently, most likely. And I don't know. I don't know what theirs looks like, but or their service plan looks like. But they're having to replace that frequently, or at least adjust it frequently, and wearing it out fast, and working hard to get up those hard spots. So for this one, I just flip my throttle just a little bit, and it just goes right up. And I would be surprised if I even use my clutch on this trail once. I don't plan on it. Still takes some skill, but nothing bad. I mean, that wasn't hard. On an ice bike, that'd be a challenge. On this bike, it's just a trail. Even this, I'm running a trials tire. Not very much pressure in the back end. Oh, there we go. So it goes up hills like that, fairly easy. And that was completely my fault. That had nothing to do with the bike. Completely my fault. A little bit of mess up there. And that does happen. But yeah, absolutely love this bike. Can you see those fall colors right here? They look real good. We'll get up higher and we'll turn back green if we get a little higher, but right here, those are some beautiful colors. An ice bike, I used to stress about some of the harder points on this trail, or any trails, not this one specifically. Not anymore. And I am getting to be a little bit better a rider. Mostly it's this bike that makes it so much easier to ride these kind of types of trails. And I've got my height set up the same. I can touch pretty decent on both sides, but it's not like I can flat foot. I'm still riding. It's just the fact that it's never going to stall out. It's always predictable, and it's decent like that. Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of the areas, and last time I rode this, I rode it on an ice bike. I'm seeing a lot of the areas that I would stress a little bit over on the ice bike, and it kind of makes me laugh a little bit, because they're no longer hard or even a challenge on this bike. And some people say, well, that's the reason you go on ride, to get the challenges. There's still plenty of challenges for sure. Steeper hills, better switchbacks, whatever. But that just means people are no longer waiting for you, or you're not working as hard going up the trail, or you could ride a more challenging trail, get more places. So don't think this bike takes the fun out of riding it. It definitely doesn't. It makes it way easier, way funner, way better. So here we go. Hop into the pretty area now. A lot of green and a lot of oranges and reds. trail definitely is more rocky than I remember it though. I don't remember it being this rocky. Although even the rocks are easier to handle on this bike. Like this spot right here. Not hard on an ice bike, but you'd have to line it up correctly and make sure you hit it just right. This one, nope, I could just walk it right up there. I'm still on it. Legs are on both sides of the bike. Just gonna. How's that? How do you like that? Wasn't even a little bit hard. Not even a challenge. Didn't have to worry about it. Didn't have to wonder about it. Just goes right up. One thing I have noticed though, with this bike, and I'm no longer having to keep my speed up, no longer having to work hard to get over the hard spots, I find myself going slower, just because I don't have to go fast, and then I lose a little bit of that, a little bit of momentum that I would otherwise have with the ice bike, and a little bit of that inertia that keeps you up. So if you're not careful, you will start going slower and losing speed like that. You don't have to, but you might see yourself doing that just because you no longer have to go fast because of the bike. So just keep that in mind and watch that if you decide to get a bike like this. You no longer have to go fast, so you don't, and that will lose a little bit of momentum, and in some cases make it harder to ride a specific trail. So keep that in mind, keep an eye on that, and keep your speed up. On a big ice bike, I would have stalled out. Would have stalled out, possibly tipped over. If I didn't stall out, or if I did stall out, even if I didn't tip over, I would have had to kick it, restart it, or use my electric start or whatever. It definitely would have been more challenging than what I just did. So, challenging spot on an ice bike, easy spot on this bike. Never gonna stall out. Not even hard. Not even worried about it in the least. Nice and calmly go up. How do you like that? That was a fairly challenging spot, and actually a spot I had to try a couple of times to get up when I was riding my ice bike up here. If you're not familiar with that, ice internal combustion engine. So wow, it sure is pretty up here though. And that's really the reason I go riding, is just, man, it's absolutely beautiful. I watch some of the other channels and I think, boy, would I be capable of riding that trail? How would I compare to the other riders? And I see the videos that I make, and yeah, I can ride what they're riding. Just take it nice and slow, take it nice and easy. work your way over it. It's not bad. Not bad at all. I think that was a turkey or an eagle or something. I'll go back and review the footage. I didn't see it until it was too late. I just saw the flutter of the wings. But I guess we'll see what that was. Some sort of bird for sure. Sitting in the trail just waiting for somebody to pass. Along with the electric motor, and this is a full-size bike, by the way. Full-size suspension, full-size bike, full-size everything. The power is comparable to a 250, but along with the electric motor, I like to, you notice I'm riding super slow. I like to run a little bit less pressure in my front and rear tires, and that gets me a little better traction. It also means I have to go a little slower, because if I don't, then I'll get like a, what do they call, a pinch flat? I'll get a pinch flat on my tube if I hit a big rock or a root while I'm going a little faster. So if I go a little slower, I probably run, and this is just a guesstimate, I go on feel, I probably run about 6 to 7 pounds in my front and back tires. They're pretty low, quite low for what I'm doing. So if you're going to do that, just be prepared to either get a couple of pinch flats or drive slower and avoid the sharp rocks and the roots and the logs while you're going fast. So everyone needs to find their own balance. I found that I can get around places better, easier, like this on low tires, so I don't have to work hard to get up and around places like this. That place right there, that was like my nemesis on an ice bike. It wasn't hard. It wasn't hard on this one at all. It's just kind of like going. But it was hard because it's fairly loose and pretty steep. But with how this bike's set up, it's not bad at all. I wasn't worried about it even a little bit. I started at 98% at the bottom of this trail. It took a couple of percent to get to the trail. I'm at 82% right now. It is basically uphill the whole way on this trail till you get to the top and you come back down, it's all the way down. So if I got to the top and I was 20%, I probably won't be, I'll probably be closer to like 60. But if I got to the top and I was 20%, I wouldn't feel bad about that at all. This is another section that I had a really hard time with on an ice bike. Now, this one, I'm just going to go right up. It's not going to be a problem at all. But because of these roots and these rocks and how steep it is right here, it would be a decent challenge on an ice bike. And you can see someone's been trying to go around it. It's not hard on this one. In fact, I'll show you. I'm just going to go up super easy. It's like it wasn't even there. This one too. Although I am sitting pretty far back on my bike, so there's not much weight on my front tire on those areas. Makes it for a lot better traction. And the dependability of the not stalling out, it just makes stuff like this so easy. Stuff that would otherwise be a real challenge is nothing on this bike at all. Like this. Still work. Of course, you can hear me breathing hard a little bit, but you're not having to get a run at it. You're not having to fight for it. You're just going up a trail at this point on stuff like this. My front end came off the bike or the ground just a little bit on that one. And that's okay. Just get to know your bike. See, this one is going to be a little bit harder. We'll see how it goes. There we go. Didn't have to climb off. Wasn't worried about tipping over. Lost a little bit of traction, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. Just sit back on your back tire. Work its way up. You'll be fine. Like I said, an ice bike, that'd have been a challenge. This bike, it's not at all. And if this looks steep on the camera, it's because it is. It's very, very steep. This would be a nightmare on an ice bike. There we go. There we go. That wasn't bad. I think that was the challenging part on this trail. So, you to come up here, just realize it's a challenge getting up here. It's well worth it. I'll show you when we get to the top of the mountain. It's quite pretty. Let's come up this way. There we go. So yeah, I just stalled out on an ice bike. Yeah, someone's been up here clearing the trail. So definitely national forest maintained. Really pretty trail. I know I've said this a lot, one of my favorite ones. It really is. It's farther away from my house, so I don't ride it a lot. But I really do enjoy riding this one. Although it has been a minute. I'm just gonna go super slow up here. There we go. Well, you can't beat that, can you? Look like a battle? No, you just go over it. Not a big deal. Oh, went the wrong way. How about we just turn and try to come this way then? Oh. See, you can tell I can't hardly reach the ground on this one. There we go. Got it. Just so you know, I haven't adjusted the suspension on this bike at all, other than I've dropped the back end just by adjusting the back shock. I haven't changed the springs or anything. I've dropped the back end about 1 inch, and I've dropped the front end about 1/2 inch. And I'm 5'7" and about 170 pounds. So if you're looking at getting this bike, that's where we're at. That peak right up there is where we're going. We're getting pretty close. I'm at 78% right now. So it's working out pretty good. Just had to bounce over that one. If this was a flat trail, that would have been super simple. I'd have just bounced over it, but it's pretty slanty in the trees and everything, so it was a little bit more of a challenge. Not hard, just different situation. I thought for sure we'd be heading more that direction, but I'm going to follow the trail because I know that's what everyone else is going to do. Worst comes to worst, we end up turning around, and that's okay. So there it is right there. I think this is about as close as we're going to get to it on this trail. We'll try going a little bit farther and see where it takes us. Okay, I do know that there are 3 trails that converge right up in here. I saw them on the maps. I've never ridden the other 2, and I will here in the next little bit, and I'll show you where they're at, and it might be next spring. We'll have to see how much time I get, but yeah, this looks like it's as close as we're gonna get to that highest peak right there. So I'm gonna ride this a little bit farther, see where it goes. That's a pretty cool view, huh? I think that's tree mountain right there. I'm not 100% sure, but I think that's tree mountain. Yeah, that's the thing right there. And I don't know how high I could get on my bike. And I'm one of those people that don't like to get off and hike. So I do know you can get most of the way to the top of that peak on this trail. So I'm gonna maybe run over there and see where this goes.